Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am the Maize Man. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, share this with your friends on social media and abound. Of course, subscribe. Today we are talking Michigan getting a season-changing, saving win against USC yesterday, plus another big depth chart change that could be a huge move for Michigan. Injury updates, all that, and of course, I'm upset. No disrespect, respectfully, but disrespectfully, it's disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans, poor little bro them. And I'ma tell them why I'm mad. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus, the other state, and of course, as always, I'm upset. First things first, I'm gonna play this clip. Let me know if this sounds familiar. Of course it sounds familiar because it's the Killers. It's Mr. Brightside by the Killers, which is oftentimes played, well, it's synonymous now with Michigan football. Let me tell you why it's being played here at the Boston College Michigan State game is because poor little bro Nim couldn't beat Boston College, and thus Boston College decided to troll poor little bro Nim with the song of their most hated rival, which just happens to be the Michigan Wolverines, even though to us poor little bro Nim is just poor little bro Nim. To them, we are the Ayatollah, and so Boston College did a little troll job. Shout out to Boston College. You are now one of my top 5 favorite programs because this is an excellent troll job after beating poor little bro Nim. We move on. Now we get into the meat and potatoes of why we all are here. Michigan, big win this past weekend over number 11 at the time, USC, 24-27. Michigan was a 4.5 point favorite by the time the kickoff started. Michigan got out to a huge first half lead, 14-3. It wasn't huge, but it's a double-digit lead going into halftime, 14-3, where they really dominated the first half. Miller Moss was picking himself up off the ground every play, it seemed like. And even into the second half, Michigan still kept that pressure up, but Miller Moss and Lincoln Riley, to their credit, to USC's credit, did come out and perform a lot better after halftime. That said, Michigan pulled off a huge win, getting everything they wanted on the ground, pretty much 290 rush yards on the ground. In fact, they out-rushed USC 290-96 with an average of 6.3 yards per rush, 3 rushing touchdowns for Michigan. Just a dominant performance again by this Michigan offensive line and these 2 running backs, man. Let's be honest, Khalil Mullings is absolutely unstoppable. That last drive, he turned into Superman. A huge 63-yard run where it looked like he could have been tackled at least 2 or 3 times on that run. He himself ran the ball 17 times for 160 yards and 9.4 yards per carry. Donovan Edwards in this one, another solid performance, 14 rushes, 79 yards on the ground, 5.3 yards per rush, a touchdown himself, but he did give up the church's money late in this game that cost Michigan the lead. Actually, he fumbled in Michigan territory. Miller Moss promptly throws a touchdown pass to put USC up at the time anyway, 24-20 over Michigan, which was very, very crushing. And it seemed like coming back to win this game would be daunting for Michigan because they weren't getting it in the pass game. I have to be honest. Alex Orji went 7 for 12, 32 yards, just 32 yards. He was sacked twice, but he was, hurried and rushed back there quite often. Most of the time because they knew that he was going to pass, or they just didn't care if he passed. I'm going to be honest. The blitz was coming. I think they blitzed him something like 65% of the time. It was very, very eye-opening in terms of the things that Alex Orji needs to work on. He and that Michigan offense, if I'm being honest, and passing the ball is right at the top of that list. At least, getting some comfortable throws. Now, granted, starting tight end and All-American Colston Loveland did not play in this game. He was a game-time decision and was a scratch right before the game kicked off. So I'm sure that having that security blanket will help him in the future. But even with that, he needs to improve as a passer. Now, granted, we didn't get much of a sample size of him passing. His mechanics look good. I'll be honest there. So it's not anything mechanical. It's all upstairs, if you ask me. He wasn't, getting to second and third reads at all. It was that first read, and if it wasn't there, he was pulling it down or at least looking to pull it down and get out of there. But I'm sure with time, practice time, that should get better. Hopefully it does get better. It has to get better. That's the bottom line. Or Michigan is not going to reach the goals that it set out for itself at the start of the season. Now, that said, the defense was lights out, especially in that first half. I think, obviously in the second half they gave up some things on the backside, but Will Johnson is absolutely the best cornerback in college football. Completely baited Millard Moss into an errant throw that Will promptly picked off and took to the house. He now becomes Michigan's all-time leader in interceptions returned for touchdowns, so shout out to Will Johnson. He would leave the game, though, on the next USC drive and not return, which was a bit, disconcerting for Michigan fans. It was reported that he went, at least his parents went to the X-ray room during the game, so that was a little concerning. But after the game, Coach Moore did say that Will could have come back if they needed him to. Obviously, they didn't. They got the win. Will Johnson himself came out and said that he's fine physically, so that is absolutely a plus. That's all you want to hear because he is clearly Michigan's best secondary player, and it's not even close, even though PFF this week rated Jair Hill as the best secondary player for Michigan this week, and I'm not mad at that because Jair Hill was very good in this game. Even the touchdown that was given up after Donovan, fumbled the ball, that wasn't necessarily on Jair Hill. He was in a cover two. He was expecting Makari Page to be his help over there. Makari Page reacted late, and of course, Millard Moss throws the touchdown right over Jair Hill and in between Makari Page, who didn't have his best stuff this week, but that's neither here nor there. Michigan got a huge, much-needed win, and in the process may have finally fleshed out running back number one. After the game, Sharon Moore all but said it. In fact, he did say, Khalil Mullins has played like running back number one, and I'm hoping that going forward that is the change. No disrespect to Donovan Edwards, who, like I said, had a good game. Again, this is back-to-back weeks of Donovan playing pretty well, but that fumble was huge, and then Khalil Mullins kind of being the closer in this game was massive in, whatever change may come. If a change comes, I think it should come. Pause, but that's neither here nor there. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball, Josiah Stewart is an absolute animal. And if he was 20, 30 pounds heavier and maybe 3 inches taller, he'd probably be discussed as a top 5 pick in the draft. He was absolutely unblockable by the USC offensive line, wreaking havoc really all day long for Millard Moss in that USC offense. In fact, he was the highest graded player for Michigan this past weekend with a 95.8 rating by PFF, which is absolutely out of this world. But he also had some help because his boys, Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, came to play, both of which got a sack. There were plenty tackles for loss. Derek Moore on the other side. Everybody along that defensive line really came to play. Rashawn Benny came in and got good minutes for Michigan, some good snaps. So the Michigan front four and even the guys that they were rotating in this game particular were absolutely phenomenal. The linebacker play was better by some of them, let me say that, because Jayshawn Barham, again, wasn't exactly excellent, but I like what I saw from Rolder. I like what I saw from Hausman. For the most part, he gave up a couple things, but Hausman was all over the place, and Rolder, they both played well. Barham missed a tackle that I think led to a 65-yard run for USC, which was their biggest run of the day, and you just have to be able to make that tackle. But again, we're not going to hold that completely against him. It was an open field tackle, one-on-one with the running back. But like I said, man, you got to be able to make that tackle. Zachariah Branch, who everybody was, worried about, and rightfully so coming into this game, was held out of the end zone, which is excellent. Held under 100 yards, excellent. So I'm very happy about what the defense was able to do in this game. Again, it's something that they need to, be able to duplicate on a more consistent basis. But if they do that, then this is going to be a fun team to watch going forward. The defense seems to have, settled down over the last couple of weeks, at least the starting defense, and is playing pretty well. So excited about that. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Comment below. What were you most excited about coming out of this game? Who do you think played the best? Who caught your eye in this game? Let's talk about it in the comment section. Michigan had some big-time recruits on tap for this win over USC, including four-star 2025 linebacker Nathaniel Owusu-Boateng, who Michigan is currently in a heated recruiting battle with the likes of Notre Dame, the other state, USC, and Texas, to name a few. He had this to say about the win. He said, quote, "This big-time win for Blue. Defense was flying around and the big house was electric. It was a great atmosphere I feel like I could play in." That's huge coming from this guy. Obviously, he's been to campus now a couple of times. This is his first game time experience. So great impression left by the Michigan Wolverines on Boateng, who looks to be taking his recruitment into the fall, may even make a decision on National Signing Day. So this could be a great feather in the cap for Michigan. He says that Michigan is one of the 2 or 3 schools that he is in most contact with, which is another plus for the Wolverines. He is, again, 4-star linebacker out of IMG Academy in Florida, originally from the DMV area, Manassas, Virginia. But we'll keep you posted on this one as more information becomes available. Keep it locked to the channel for updates. Another big-time recruit that was on campus for Michigan's win over USC was 4-star offensive lineman Zayden Crimpin out of Prosper, Texas, Prosper High School in the 2026 class. He said, quote, "That was one of the most fun games I've ever attended. The crowd was insane. The best part was how much Michigan ran the ball. I loved everything about today's experience. Just really excited about this school and happy with how everything is going so far here." So very good news for the Wolverines from 2 of their top targets, one in this class, the other in the 2026 class. We'll keep you posted on both as more information becomes available. Tomorrow, be sure to tune in 7 p.m. live for Eminem Mondays. Me, my guy, the Maniac, will be live to talk about this win, plus the things coming up this week in terms of Michigan's matchup for the Little Brown Jug with Minnesota, all of that. And if you haven't already, become a member of the channel. Very easy. You get access to custom emojis, early access to videos, which will be starting here soon, and the Discord. If you're a member in the Discord, that gives you further access to things in the Discord. By the way, the Discord will be opening. Keep it locked. Make sure to follow me on social media. All my social medias, I'll be updating the Discord information for those looking to join. And until next time, stay angry, my friends. I'm upset.
Ladies and gentlemen, this might be our best season ever. My ratings, they're about to go through the roof.
All right, now I'ma calm down. So I just don't get that all that Maize and that lock and all that puff. I just don't get it, son, for real.
Just calm
And how the